Every so often, customers ask about how to apply vegetation on a ProApto Ghillie. So in this video, I'm going to show you and explain how to do it. There are basically 4 ways to apply vegetation on a ProApto Ghillie. The first one is very commonly used. It's just to use a rubber band attached to the Ghillie base using a cowish knot, and then using this rubber band to secure vegetation. The advantages of using this methodology is that the vegetation is going to be pretty stable on it, particularly if you're running or doing whatsoever. But the disadvantages are that you are going to increase weight on your Ghillie, and you are going to run into camouflage issues, particularly in the UV infrared spectrum, because rubber band doesn't have a good light reflectance. The second way is very similar. It's just to use Paracord strings attached to the Ghillie base using a fisherman or a double fisherman knot or just a simple knot, and then using these strings to secure vegetation. This is slightly different because you can increase the width of the vegetation you can attach, like larger branches or larger grass stems, but it has the same disadvantages of the rubber band. It's increased weight. With times they can break, particularly when you don't want them to break, and also it can run into camouflage issues, particularly at close range, like the infrared spectrum light management or UV spectrum management. Going over the other 2 methodologies, the third one is possible just using a ProApto Ghillie. You can use just the meshes of the Ghillie base to pass vegetation through it. This is going to be pretty stable, very easy. You're not going to add weight on your Ghillie. One disadvantage is that you can perceive the vegetation in between the Ghillie and your body, but if you are a straight male, you should not complain about that. The fourth is very easy. You can just use the youth branches of the raffia branches to secure vegetation with a knot. As the previous one, you're not going to increase weight on your Ghillie. You're not running into camouflage issues because you're just using the Ghillie. Vegetation is not going to be stable as the first one and the second one. But after all, if you're not running or doing crazy things, vegetation is going to stay there. So these are the 4 main ways to apply vegetation on your Ghillie. I personally prefer the third and the fourth because you're not increasing weight on your Ghillie, you're not relying on a third to apply vegetation, and also you're not running into visibility and camouflage issues in the infrared, UV, or visible spectrum. Also, the first and the second methodologies have their advantages, so they are very fast. Vegetation is going to be pretty stable, but the increased weight on your Ghillie, and also they may fail when you don't want to. So choose what to prepare. You can also combine all of them. It's a pretty handy way to do so. I did it several times. It's okay. And if the rubber bands or Paracord strings fails, you can always rely on the ProApto Ghillie base and the camouflage branches like youth and raffia. Keep in mind that if you're not applying vegetation on your Ghillie, you're not using your Ghillie properly. And if you cannot attach vegetation on your Ghillie,